Different Seasons is a four-story novella collection featuring the four stories Rita Hayworth in the Shawshank Redemption, Apt Pupil, The Body, which inspired the movie Stand By Me, and The Breathing Method. Hello everyone, Kite562 here with a review of my thoughts after finishing Stephen King's Different Seasons. Now, this collection is a four-story novella collection by the author. All these stories have a different wide variety of themes and different details within them, so I thought I'd share with you all my thoughts about it in this video. So anyway, let's get on with it. In the Shawshank Redemption, a man convicted of bloody murder lives in a prison brutally ruled by a sadistic warden, secretly run by a con who knows all the ropes and pulls all the strings. He has more brains than anyone else in this sinister slammer, and a diabolically cunning plan of revenge that no one can guess until it's far too late. And brace yourself for icy shock in three more stunning novellas of suspense. Four young boys come face to face with life, death, and hints of their own morality. A teenager becomes both the puppet and the puppet master of evil. A disgraced woman is determined to triumph over death. The greatest horror master of our time turns the screws of suspense to lock you into terrifying tension and nerve-tingling twist. Now, I have to say Different Seasons had to be my favorite short story collection, well, short novella collection by this author. Really great, and if you're starting out with Stephen King, I highly recommend it. Now, as for my notes, with the first story, Rita Hayworth in the Shawshank Redemption, is a story where our main character, Andy Dufresne, is charged and convicted of murdering his wife, Lisa Dufresne, and her lover, Glenn Quinton. Andy plans of breaking out of Shawshank prison since Andy himself is an innocent man. And so, anyway, I thought this story was really solid and really great in my opinion, and just an overall a really wonderful read as a reader. Is just a really riveting scene, although I've never seen the movie Shawshank Redemption, nor have I seen Stand By Me, which was inspired by The Body from this novella collection. I'll probably give them a chance when I can. And also, side note within this story, Rita's hung in Andy's cell until 1955. He switched the poster to Marilyn Monroe from the 7-year itch. Monroe lasted until 1966. She was replaced by Jane Mansfield. Jane was replaced by English actress Hazel Court. The last poster to be placed in Andy's cell was Lisa Ronstadt. Andy always liked Raquel Welch. Andy always felt like he could walk into the poster with the bench, and that was an excerpt from page 55. So, again, of this collection. And also there's an Easter egg where the Mangler from Stephen King's Night Shift gets mentioned. So I thought that was pretty fun. I also have a video review of Night Shift, so I'll leave a link to it up here in the corner. So anyway, for the second story, Apt Pupil, a young 13-year-old paperboy befriends his elderly neighbor Kurt DeSander, who was a former Nazi SS soldier during World War II. Todd is unhealthily obsessed with both what happened in World War II and how Todd's neighbor Kurt is connected to it. Now, this story, I'll admit it wasn't my favorite, but it really sent chills down my spine. So, I have to say the moment where Kurt put that freaking cat in the oven still sends shivers down my spine. Is, I have to say, the moral of Apt Pupil, the story, is that even your darkest choices at a young age can still creep up with you, because Apt Pupil, from how it was written, I feel like it was written in a 3-year gap. Like, it started out when Todd Bowden was 13 and, again, unhealthily obsessed with World War II, and then the discovery of his neighbor, Kurt DeSander, and then a whole bunch of other things unfold from there. I mean, it really kept me on the edge of my seat as I read it. So, again, not my favorite novella, but still a solid story nevertheless. So I have to say, for the third story, The Body, which again inspired the movie Stand By Me, which I've never seen, Gordon Gordy LaChance and his 3 friends discovered the dead body of a boy named Ray Brower, a boy from Chamberlain, Maine, a town 40 miles away from Castle Rock, Maine. With the story bursting into this coming-of-age adventure story, gives these characters a story to remember. Now, Gordy's 3 friends are Todd, Chris, and Vern. I don't remember their last names, but I'll probably stick them in text in this video, either that way or somewhere over here as like a little text box, if I feel like it. So, and again, I have to say, for the side note of The Body, George Camber's dog Cujo is mentioned in The Body when the story about Milo Pressman's guard dog Chopper. Some would say Chopper was a Doberman with its vocal cords surgically removed, so trespassers wouldn't hear him on the attack. Others also say Chopper could be an Irish wolfhound. I have to say, this was a really interesting backstory because it really gave this small town of Castle Rock the small town vibe energy. If you lived in a small town, you know. So it's just, I have to say, I really enjoyed how Gordon LaChance handled George Doucette, which is the butcher of the general store, or he could have been the owner. When Gordon corrected Mr. Doucette for making the total $2.29, when Gordon was actually counting in his head, and the total came out to $2.13, like he was getting some hamburger, meat, some Cokes, and then some other things. And I just thought that was a really wonderful scene. And when Gordy told Mr. Doucette, "Fuck you," just really great moment. So I'm really glad I gave The Body a chance. And that excerpt was from page 340 of Different Seasons. This version was kind of tied into the movie Shawshank Redemption in a way. I think the cover could have been promotional. So, and now finally, The Breathing Method is a story where a group of men are a part of an exclusive men's club in New York, where men tell stories to one another. However, one member tells one story about an abandoned and disgraced woman who wants to give birth to a child, regardless of what obstacle lies in her path. Now, I know I'm a huge Junji Ito fan, and I really, really wish that The Breathing Method would get adapted into a manga by Junji Ito, because I think this story would do really well paired up with his art style. So, I really do hope Junji Ito does have the chance to adapt at least one or a few of Stephen King's works. I mean, I really hope for a manga adaptation for Salem's Lot, but that's just wishful thinking. I don't think we'll get to see The Stand or It or The Shining adapted into a manga by Mr. Ito, but only one can hope one day. So, anyway, my final thoughts are, it's a really great collection of 4 novellas in Different Seasons, with a wide variety of themes in each one. The Body, Rita Hayworth, and Shawshank Redemption were my favorite stories in this collection. However, all 4 were really enjoyable to read. So I give Different Seasons by Stephen King, at the end of the day, a 9.7 out of 10. I'm Kite562, signing out, and as always, I hope you have a wonderful day, everybody. Later.